Good evening, everyone. So, I hope all of you are doing well. I hope all of you. So, last day, don't have the and today we are going to discuss some of the topics also. And there was one question also. One of you was with. We are going. Then after this, we will also see this one part like different topic. The USA, like US has decided of this sum of what is going to be the impact of that. We are going. Second thing, India-Maldives finalize this. Just a glimpse of it. Once it is finalized, then we will talk about it. Then we have this one very important thing because there is a news about how their sounds, what they use. Then we will talk about this lymphatic filariasis. Like this year, government has made eliminate filariasis by 2020. That respect, we are going to talk about. And then one more topic, Bombay blood group. These are the topics which we are going. Voice is not papered. I hope now it is audible. I hope now it is properly audible. Okay, so see, so we were talking about the topics. we were talking about the topics which we are going to discuss. One of the topic which we are going to discuss is about the national park, wildlife sanctuaries, etc. So that is one topic which we are going to discuss. Second thing which we are going to talk about is about the US aid. Like government of US has stopped this US aid program. So in that respect, we are going to talk about it. Third thing, Maldives and India are going to finalize their FTA. So that will be another topic which we are going to see. Then we will talk about lymphatic filariasis and Bombay blood group. So these are the topics which we are going to discuss. Okay. There was one question I think from Harshita that there was this one topic that जो क्रिमिनल्स को पकड़ा जाता है तो उनका फेस ब्लैक क्लॉथ से क्यों कवर किया जाता है या नॉर्मली विल फाइंड दैट इफ एनी पर्सन हु इज कैप्चर्ड बाय द पुलिस कैमरा के सामने उनका फेस जो है वो कवर किया जाता है तो व्हाई देयर फेस इज कवर्ड थिंक until a person is proven guilty he is considered as innocent in the eyes of the law. Okay. So until unless that person is like proven guilty by the court, till then he is not a guilty person. So that's why normally you will find that they are like given this privacy. Suppose that even if that person has not committed a crime, right now he is accused only, but throughout the world his face is going that he is a criminal. So that will tarnish his image. So that is one of the reason. Okay. No, I have not forgotten. Okay. So that is one part why their face is covered. Okay. Now, so let's start our discussion first with this national park, wildlife sanctuaries and biosphere reserve. So we are going to start with that only. Okay. See, there is one thing called as wildlife sanctuary. Another thing is there called as national park. National park. Now, if you look at them, Both of them are protected areas. Both of them are protected areas and they are provided by the same act, Wildlife Protection Act. Both of them has been provided through Wildlife Protection Act of 1972. So here also you will find that same thing applies here also. Wildlife Protection Act provides it. Okay. Both union as well as the state government can declare an area as a wildlife sanctuary or a national park. Okay. So can be declared by state or union. So it can be declared by state or union. The same concept applies here also. Do means same. Okay. Now this is one thing which is common to them. This is one thing which is common. Now what is the difference? What is the difference? Remember one thing, if there is any such protected areas, if there is any such protected area, it will consist of both plants and animals and both of them are going to be conserved. There will be conservation of both plants as well as animals. But there is a difference. When we talk about wildlife sanctuary, generally it is not there in the law, but conventionally what we see that, if there is a wildlife sanctuaries, it is generally created to conserve any specific species. Okay. So it is generally created to conserve any specific wildlife species. Generally, it is created to conserve any specific wildlife species. Like suppose that if in one area there is presence of Barasingha, so for that we can declare a wildlife sanctuaries. If in certain region there is a spotted deer or black buck or gharial or any such a specific animal, so we can have creation of wildlife sanctuaries in order to protect that area. Now suppose that there is an area which is not only about just one specific species, but a larger habitat having so many other species, and it requires a broader conservation approach, a more strict conservation approach. So then we declare that as a national park. Okay. So it is declared for holistic conservation of entire area or entire habitat and species. So this is going to be a much more comprehensive or holistic approach to conservation of a forest area or a habitat or the different species located in that area. Okay. So apart from gharial, if we are saving the entire aquatic organisms or all the forest in that area, so that can be in form of a national park. Okay. Now there is also some legal differences, or what you can say that some technical differences. This is the difference about approach. So there is some technical difference also between a wildlife sanctuary and a national park. Okay. So let us see what is that technical difference. Okay. Here we are having wildlife sanctuaries and this side we are having the national park. So technical difference. See, first thing is boundary. Boundary is not well defined. Boundary is not well defined. Okay. So like normally if you are purchasing a land, suppose that if you are purchasing a plot of a land, so what is generally done? You get an idea that okay, what is the total area of that land, what are the boundaries of that land. Whenever you are purchasing any land, you know that what is there in its vicinity, what is the different lands surrounding it, who are the owners of it, etc, etc. So you get the complete latitude, longitude, all these things when you purchase a land. But when we talk about wildlife sanctuaries, it is like simply that from this mountain in the east to that second mountain in the west, and from this river to that river, the entire area will be called as a wildlife sanctuary. Okay. So it is based on geographical features. Okay. Area is defined based on geographical features. Okay. Or boundary defined on basis of geographical features. Okay. Geographical features, like they can say that suppose this is an area, here we are having, that here we are having some mountain range in this area. Okay. There is a river flowing through this area. There is a river flowing through this area, and this is again another mountain range. So suppose this area between this entire rivers, this is river 2, this is mountain 2, this is mountain 1, river 1. So area between this rivers and mountains will be called as a wildlife sanctuary. So they are defining it simply on the basis of geographical range. But on the other hand, here boundary is well defined by legislation. Boundary is well defined by legislation. Boundary is well defined by legislation. Okay. So that is one part what we see in case of this national park and wildlife sanctuaries. There is another part, there is more strict regime, more strict control or laws in national park. In national park, there is more strict regime. There is more strictness as compared to the wildlife sanctuaries. Okay. So that is the difference between national park as well as wildlife sanctuaries. Okay. Now there is another thing called as biosphere reserve. There is one thing called as biosphere reserve. So let us look at this. What is this biosphere reserve? Okay. Biosphere reserve. So if we talk about this biosphere reserve, it is entirely different thing. This biosphere reserve is entirely different thing. Like suppose that there is an entire forest. Let us say that this is entire forest. Okay. Now let us identify that this is a zone rich in wildlife. Rich in wildlife. There are certain zones which are having human habitations. Human habitations. Okay. There are certain zones which are also agriculture lands. Here let us say agriculture is being performed. Okay. Here let us say that there is performance of agriculture also. So now when we talk about biosphere reserve, this entire area can be declared as a biosphere reserve. In a biosphere reserve, what we will have one core area. Let us say that this is the core region. This is the core region. And in core region, there will not be presence of any human beings. There will be mostly the presence of wildlife species. It is based on this philosophy that humans will participate in the conservation process. So within this forest, certain areas will be demarcated as core areas where human intervention will not be done. Okay. Then the second area will be there of buffer zone. Let us say that this is the second area. This will be called as buffer zone. So in this area, what we will see that some human settlement can be there, some agriculture activities can be there, okay, but no industries, no hotels, no resorts. Okay. And the third remaining zone which is here, this remaining zone is our transition zone. This is our transition zone. And in this, we can have setups of even some hotels. There can be presence of humans also. So this is the transition zone where secondary activities to some extent which are sustainable in nature can be promoted. Secondary or tertiary activities can also be promoted. In the buffer zone, only primary activities like sustainable agriculture can be allowed. And in the core zone, there will be no involvement of human beings. Okay. So I hope this part is clear. What is wildlife sanctuary? What is national park? What is biosphere reserve? No, NWLB, National Board for Wildlife, NBWL. Its permission will be required in any of these protected areas. Even in Biosphere Reserve, it will require the, if you want to change anything in Biosphere Reserve also, it will require the permission of NBWL, National Board for Wildlife. So National Board for Wildlife will be like applicable in national parks also, wildlife sanctuaries also, even in Biosphere Reserve. Okay. So this is our first part. What is national park? What is wildlife sanctuaries, etc., etc. Okay. Now, coming to the second topic, US aid. Okay. So there was a Department of United States. There was a Department of United States which was there for as an independent government agency. Okay. This was basically an independent government agency of United States. Okay. This was providing the assistance to developed and developing nations across the world. Okay. So this was providing assistance to developing and underdeveloped states or countries. So it was providing them grants like for agriculture, so for health also, for education also. So for different purposes it was giving this assistance. It was established in 1961. Okay. In 1961 it was established. Okay. At that time Kennedy, just F. Kennedy, he was the President John Kennedy, he was the president at that time, and he led to this establishment of US aid. Basically it was one of the program to tilt the different world countries to the different countries towards US. Okay. On one side, of course, it was a plan or it was like helping the people, but here again the main motive was to ensure that the different countries of the world can tilt toward US instead of USSR. So this was the time of Cold War, and it was one of the diplomacy of United States to help the countries and get them in their favor. Okay. So that was the beginning. Okay. Now this has been closed. This has been now closed by US administration. Now closed by US administration. Now this department itself has been closed by US administration. Okay. So this closing of this US aid is a matter of global debate now. Okay. Why it has been so much debated? What is the impact? Okay. What is the impact? Okay. Challenge for African countries. Challenge for African countries. The major challenges for the African countries, those who are already going through this crisis, like civil war is going on, resource crunch is there, the capital is not there, technology has not reached there, health condition is deteriorating. So for African countries, there is a major issue. Okay. Second challenge is challenge for the NGOs. Challenge for NGOs. There are several NGOs working throughout the world they were getting the funding from this US aid. Now their funding is also going to stop. So their developmental work, their work in the community, it is going to further like become more problematic. Okay. Third important challenge is functioning of global institutions like WHO, World Health Organization. This World Health Organization was also getting this voluntary contribution from US aid. So now that funding is also going to stop. As a result of all this, there will be implications on global health. There will be implication on global health. There will be implication on food security. There will be implications on education. Okay. And there will also be rising inequality. Rising inequality. Okay. So these all things can further make the world much more complicated, and ultimately this all is going to impact the achievements of sustainable development goals as well as Paris Treaty. It is going to become much more challenging in the future for the underdeveloped nations, especially that of Africa or other countries. Okay. Asian countries are not in that much challenge, but the African countries are more worried about it. They are more concerned with respect to this closing of USAID program. Okay. So that is one thing. Now, what is the way forward? In last session also, like not in the last session, but in the last week, we have talked about this, that there is a need for some global groups to come forward and make a solution for that which doesn't depends on US elections. Okay. So what we need is, if we talk about the way forward here, so what we need to develop? We need to like the global forums like G20, BRICS, SCO, ASEAN need to step up. So that is one of the major things. They need to step up. Okay. Second thing is reform in global institutions. Reform in global institutions. See, many of the global institutions are tilted toward US. Many of the global institutions are tilted toward US. Why? US was the major contributor. So when US is not giving the fund, there must be a reform. Those countries who are willing to give the fund, now they can have more say in the global institutions. If India and China is giving more fund, if they are ready to give the fund, then they should have more say in the working of these institutions. Okay. So that is also the requirement of the time. So that is basically our second topic with respect to this US aid. Okay. Like this is the second topic, US aid, and what are the challenges now, what can be the way forward now. Okay. Now coming to the third topic. See, we are not discussing it with respect to India. Just to give an example, if we talk about India, suppose if United States give us even $50 billion, for us $50 billion is not that much of a challenge. $50 billion is not that much of a challenge for India. Okay. What can be implications on education? See, this fund was also being used to provide education to the people. This fund was used to provide education to the people by different NGOs and all. If they are not able to give the fund, how they will promote education and all. So that will also become one of the challenge. If you have to provide education in Africa or some countries of Asia, you need fund for that. So that is going to be impacted. Okay. Now coming to the third topic. Okay. Basically this smaller topic is there. Maldives, India, FTA. We have discussed this topic at least 2 times in detail. We have discussed this topic in detail, that what are the facets of India-Maldives relation. Okay. Just to revise it, some keywords. Okay. Some keywords with respect to India-Maldives. Okay. So if we look at this, if we talk about Maldives, for Maldives, India is basically the first responder. Okay. India as first responder. India as first responder in crisis. So whether it is natural crisis or artificial crisis, natural crisis like there is cyclone, storms, lack of water, water scarcity, or there is a military coup. In all these situations, India has been at forefront, whether it was water crisis in 2013-14 or in the 1980s when there was military coup in Maldives. So in all these matters, India has been on the forefront of helping Maldives. Okay. So that is one part. Second, India as provider of essential goods. India as provider of essential goods. So food items, water, medicine and all other things are coming through India. So they have a fixed quota also. They are getting a regular, consistent supply of essential items through India. And recently in 2024, this quota was raised to. Okay. So that is also one of the point. Third, India training Maldives forces. India trains Maldives forces. So Maldives security personnel, Maldives army is being trained by India. India is also provider of the goods like helicopters or other like weapons are provided to Maldives by India. So India is a provider of these things also, plus India is also the training part. Okay. So both these things are going through India. Okay. India also helps in development of infra like colleges, hospital, park, etc. So they are also made in Maldives with investment from India. So that is also coming here. That is also coming here from India. And at the same time, India also provide this entry to Maldivians, entry to India for education, health. So almost free entry, no visa requirement. So that is one thing. Easy availability is there. Okay. Easy availability is there for Maldives to come to India. Maldivian people can come to India for education also, health also. They are having quotas in Indian universities as well. So this is one part of India and Maldives relation. Now why Maldives is important for us? If we talk about from the Indian perspective, a strategic position of Maldives, in Indian Ocean. You know that this is the route of trade trade plus security. Trade plus security issue is there. This is the place where you will find that a huge amount of trade is happening. So from trade angle also, from the angle of security also, this area is quite much prominent. Second part is India's neighborhood first policy. Neighborhood first policy. So if we talk about India's neighborhood first policy also, Maldives is an integral part of it. Okay. And third part is managing China. Managing China in Indian Ocean region. In Indian Ocean region. So these are the strategic importance of Maldives in this Indian Ocean region for India. Okay. FTA is free trade agreement. So right now there is a negotiation which is going on between India and Maldives. Once that is finalized, we will again see what is this FTA right now. Okay. Like once it is finalized, we will see again what is the FTA of India and Maldives. Okay. So India is going to finalize a free trade agreement with Maldives. Okay. So in the upcoming times, we will see this deal also, and then we will discuss that again. Okay. So right now we are just seeing the importance of Maldives for India and importance of India for Maldives. Okay. I hope that part is also clear, how Maldives is important for us and how we are important for Maldives. Clear what is FTA? Is this part clear? What is FTA? Now, coming to the next portion, the fourth article, the fourth topic, which we are going to see is about elephants. Okay. So, have you heard the sound of elephants? The trumpet sounds of elephant? Neighborhood first policy. See, neighborhood first policy is like, although India wants to have this entire world as a global village, we have a concept of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. We have a concept of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Means the entire village, entire world is one common village. Okay. So we have that one thing. Entire world is one, that is Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. But in that entire world, we will have the first priority for our neighbor. Okay. Our first priority will not be US or USSR or any other country. Our first priority is to improve the relations with our neighbor strategically, economically also, trade also, investment also, people to people exchange also. So that is part of neighborhood first policy of India. Okay. So that is part of neighborhood first policy. Okay. So like recently this article was there that why do the elephants trumpet, like the different sounds which they have, what is the utility of it? Okay. Like it is called as call. It is called as call. Like suppose if you are going in a wildlife sanctuary or you are going on a tiger safari or anything, you will find that the forest guards who are there or the persons who will take you for visit within the forest park and everything. So they say that there is a very strong call. So the way they communicate with each other, that is called as call. Okay. So they sometimes say that there is a strong call. Strong call maybe because some threat is near, some major issue is there or some major threat is there. So very strong call. Strong call is means some sound will be generated by these animals which are called as call. Okay. So in case of elephants also, there is a call between the elephants. Okay. Among the elephants there is a call also. So they communicate to each other. They communicate to each other by their sound. For us it is a simple sound, but for them all these sounds have different meanings. Okay. like they, if they want to play, if they find any threat, if they find any challenge. Okay. So in different manner they are like releasing different type of voices. So that was why this was there in the news, that what does the trumpet sound of elephants mean. It means to like how they communicate with each other, but you don't have to say what is the meaning of loud sound, what is the meaning of feeble sound. So you don't have to go into that. Like there is called as trumpet, roar, rumble, chirps, etc, etc. Okay. But you don't have to go in the detail of that, what is the meaning of it. There is also high frequency, low frequency. Okay. So through these ways they are able to communicate each other. Okay. They are able to communicate each other, they are able to signal each other to go in a particular directions or others. Okay. So that is the meaning of their sound. Now what we will mostly look at, that if we are talking about elephant as an animal, so from UPSC perspective, what we have to see. Okay. First, let us talk about elephants. So tell me, what do you know by elephants? And here we are talking about Asian elephant first. In Asian elephant, what do you know about them? What is their habitat? What is their habitat? Where do we commonly find the elephants? In India, where do we find the elephants? Or throughout the world also, what is the type of vegetation which is preferred by them? If you look at them, you will find that it is evergreen and semi-evergreen. In India, you will find that majority of elephants are there in Karnataka. Okay. Earlier, Kerala was written, but now you know that it is Karnataka which has most of the number of elephants in India. Okay. So it is found in semi-evergreen, evergreen. Normally, you will find that Karnataka has most number of elephants. Okay. Now, in the case of elephants, if you look at this, their uniqueness. This is led by a female. The group of elephants is led by a female. Group is led by female. Adult male elephants are largely solitary living. Okay. So what you will find that adult male elephants, they have this solitary living, whereas the female and the children, the female or the young ones, they are generally there in a group. Okay. And it is led by one of the women. Okay. So that is one thing which you will find in case of elephants. Now in the case of Asian elephant, where do we have this present of tusk? I think you know that what is tusk. You may have seen that extra tooth which is coming out from their like body, the elephant teeth which you see there. So that is called as tusk. So whether it is found in males or in females. So female elephants generally do not have the tusk. Okay. In case of Asian elephant, here we are talking about the Asian elephants. So what we see that females do not have tusk. Females generally don't have tusk. Okay. So that is one common thing which we see in case of Asian elephant. Okay. External teeth found only in male, largely in male. Some female elephants may have it, but it is mostly in case of male in the Asian elephant. In African elephant, there can be presence of tusk in both male and female. Okay. So in case of African elephant, both male and female can have tusk. May have tusk. Now you know that they are found in evergreen areas, they are vegetarian in nature, means they are herbivorous in nature, so that you commonly know. Okay. There are these differences which you see. Now if there is a question, which one is larger, Asian elephant or African? Which one is larger, Asian or African? It is also in fact largest land mammal also. If we talk about largest terrestrial mammal, we have the elephant. Okay. Elephants are the largest terrestrial mammal. So yes, African greater in size. Big ears also. So that is one thing which you will see in the elephants. African elephants are bigger in size also. Even their what do you say, ears, they are also very much large as compared to the Asian elephants. Okay. So that is one thing which we see. Now, there is one thing, if we talk about their IUCN status, can you tell me what is their IUCN status? Is it endangered? Is it vulnerable? It is critically endangered or what? Okay. In India, there are roughly more than 30,000 plus elephants. More than 30,000 plus elephants are there in India. Okay. Now tell me, what is their IUCN status of Asian elephant? In Wildlife Protection Act, they are mentioned in Schedule 1. In CITES also, they are mentioned in Appendix 1. So in IUCN, what is their status? Is it endangered? Is it vulnerable? What is the status of Asian elephants? Maybe least concern. See, there is one question, why tusk found in both male and female elephants of Africa? Normally, we'll find that when we are talking about Africa, Africa is having enormous amount of evergreen vegetation, and at the same time, the wood which is there. Why do elephants have tusks? Because they have to uproot those trees which are very much strong and all. So tusk is helping them in tearing the trees. Okay. Now in African region, they are generally having trees which are very hard. Okay. As compared to that in Indian region or Asian region, there are not that much hard or very much strong trees. So that's why tusk is more common in case of African elephant. No, it is not vulnerable, it is not least concern. Elephant is listed as endangered. It is listed as endangered. Okay. It is not vulnerable. Remember this one part, elephants are not considered as vulnerable species. Despite having a significant population, elephants are counted as endangered species in IUCN. Okay. So, in case of African elephant, you will find that some of them are critically endangered. In some of the cases in African elephants, there is even critically endangered also. There are different varieties in Africa also. But Asian elephant, if we look at this, it is considered as endangered. Okay. In African, there are certain which are vulnerable also, some special groups which are critically endangered also. But we have to see from Asian elephant perspective, that is endangered category. Okay. Now, so that is our fourth topic about the elephant. Okay. Fourth topic, that is our elephant. Okay. Now, coming to the fifth topic, lymphatic filariasis. So, what is lymphatic filariasis? Yes, Gajla, for this 1 week, we are having class at 8 p.m. From the next week, we will have class at 5 p.m. But this in this week there is this special session for BPSC mains students. So that's why we are having this 1 week session at 8 p.m. Okay. Now tell me about this. What is this issue of lymphatic filariasis? Sometimes it is also in simple Hindi language, you may have heard it. It is called as filaria or elephantiasis. It is also called as hathi pav. Okay. Elephantiasis or hathi pav. Okay. So what is this disease? What is this disease? See, basically it is one of the issues. Hathi pav or elephantiasis or lymphatic filariasis. This is one of the species. This is one of the species which is caused by this. Yes, of course, it is caused by this Culex mosquito. Okay. So it is caused by this Culex mosquitoes. Okay. Transmitted by bite of Culex mosquitoes. Basically, it is caused due to this. If we talk about this, if we talk about this, there are certain filarial worms. Okay, basically the round worms or others which are there, they are considered as responsible for this. Nematodes or roundworms, and especially even in that Brugia malai, Brugia thimori, etc., etc. So there are certain parasitic worms. Okay. Main cause parasitic worms. Parasitic worms, they spread during this biting of Culex mosquitoes. Okay. And like this leads to swelling of limbs. It leads to excessive swelling of limbs, and in fact it becomes a disability. It becomes a physical and social disability. Physical and social disability. Okay. There is a physical disability, of course. There is, of course, a physical disability which is caused due to this lymphatic filariasis. But at the same time, it is also a social disability also. Those people who are having lymphatic filariasis in the society, you will find that they are generally seen with a sympathetic attitude. Okay, that people are feeling sorry for them. People are feeling that they are infected. They are infected. They may lead to a spread of this disease also, or a social stigma is there which prevails along with this lymphatic filariasis. Okay. So that is one of the major challenge. Of course, it can spread also. Like Culex mosquito, it can lead to this spread of this lymphatic filariasis also. So this is one of the challenge, and India has a goal. Okay, if we talk about why this is there in the news, what is the context? India aims to eliminate this. Lymphatic filariasis by 2027. Okay. So there are so many medicines. There are so many medicines which can simply treat this problem. Like there is multiple drug combination which can be used to treat this problem. So it is a treatable disease. Basically, what you will find out, it is a treatable disease. And India have this aim to eliminate this lymphatic filariasis by 2027. Yeah, limbs had swollen and fat. Okay. Limbs, LIMBS, limbs. Limbs means hands and legs. Okay. So they become solid. Okay. So albendazole and other medicines, ivermectin, albendazole, etc., they are used to treat this also. So this is a treatable problem, and still many people are not getting the treatment due to lack of awareness, social stigma and everything. Okay. So that is one of the challenge with respect to lymphatic filariasis. We have a aim to eliminate this disease by 2027. Okay. So that's why, yes, albendazole is there, which can be used for treatment of this. So we have this aim to treat it by 2027, not treat it, eliminate it. Okay. So I hope that is clear. Antihelminthics drug like albendazole. So this is a disease for which we have an aim to treat it. Like, just look at this. Let me show you the image. I think everyone knows this. This is the problem. Okay. This impairs this function of lymphatic system. Okay. See, that is the main thing, that if people know about this disease in the beginning itself, if they get the proper treatment in the beginning itself, they can most likely get rid of this. But if they are not getting the treatment, if they are not aware, then it can become chronic and then it doesn't go. Even filaria is one such thing which often resurfaces as well. So that's why it can be resurfacing also. So it is impacting our lymph system. Can anyone tell me what is the role of the lymph system? Can anyone tell me what is the role of this lymph system? It is called as Hathi Paw. Of course, it is called as Hathi Paw. Remove this picture. See, there is nothing bad in the picture. There is nothing bad in the picture. It is just showing this is a disability. Okay. Now, this is one of the social stigma, that if we see something like this, we think it is abnormal. It is not something which we can see regularly. So that is a social stigma, in fact, associated with that. That if there is a person who is suffering from this problem, we think that it is something which we should not be seeing. Okay. So then it further promotes it. Carry fluid in the lymph. Lymphatic system is basically part of our immune system. Okay. It is basically part of our immune system. This is having lymph, which consists of the T lymphocytes, T and B cells. Okay. They are also components of this lymph system. They are also these components of the lymph system which provides us the immunity in the body. Okay. So that is the role of the lymphatic system. It consists of lymph, which is basically our lymphocytes and other things are there. It filters and removes the defective cells. It filters and removes the pathogens. There is this entire lymphatic system which works for providing us the immunity. Okay. Now, coming to the next part. One last topic, the sixth topic, Bombay blood group. Bombay blood group. Now, what is this Bombay blood group? What is this Bombay blood group? Any idea? दिल को कुछ कुछ होता है देखकर. Tell me this part. What do you know about this Bombay blood group? You have not heard about this. It is the one of the rarest. It is basically one of the rarest blood group. It is one of the rarest blood group. Okay. It is one of the rarest blood group. You will find that it lacks the H antigen. It lacks the H antigen, which is generally found in ABO blood group. Okay. So, lack of H antigen commonly found in ABO group. Means whether we are talking about A group, B group, O group or AB group, in that there is presence of a H antigen. But Bombay blood group is different from all these groups. Okay. So person who is having Bombay blood group can get the blood only from those persons who are having Bombay blood group. Okay. So blood transfusion can only take place between people having this blood group, people having Bombay group. Okay. So suppose that if there is a person X who is having Bombay blood group, so they cannot receive blood from O, A, B or AB. So even O negative, the universal donor cannot give blood to Bombay blood group. Bombay blood group will be able to receive the blood only from a person who is having the Bombay blood group. So that is why it is one of the rarest. Having less than 10,000 members, it is one of the condition of saying that it is a rare group. So there are some of the rare blood groups across the world. One of them is Bombay blood group. If less than 10,000 people are having a particular type of blood group, it is called as a rare blood group. So Bombay blood group is one of the rare blood group which was first identified in 1952 in Bombay. Okay. So it was first identified in 1952 in Bombay. Okay. So that's why it was named after this Bombay blood group. Okay. It was, yes, Dr. Y.M. Vende was there. So he has this identified Bombay blood group. Now the challenge is, like, it is found in 1 out of 10,000 people. Okay. It is found in 1 out of 10,000 people. So that is why it is a rare blood group. Like its percentage is very low. Found in 1 by 10,000. Out of 10,000 people, it will be found in 1%. It will be found in 1%. So that is why it is rare. Okay. If we talk about world, this is for India. This is for India. In India, this Bombay blood group is still found 1 out of 10,000. If we look at global population, it is 1 in 1 million. Out of 1 million people, means out of 10 lakh people, 1 person will be having Bombay blood group. So it is extremely rare. And what is the common challenge? See, most of our blood samples are generally tested for A, B or O. And it is commonly mistaken as O blood group. Okay. So it is commonly mistaken as O blood group, but it is not O. Commonly mistaken as O blood group. Okay. So that's why it is a rare blood group. It is a rare blood group. Okay. तो फिर blood नहीं मिलेगा. If they are not getting blood, see, that is why the rare blood groups are one of the challenge. Now, why it is there in the news? Now, what scientists are doing and doctors are doing, they are removing the antibodies from the blood. They have started various treatments and all in which they are removing the antibodies from the blood. Once the antibodies are removed, then blood transfusion can happen from other blood groups also. Okay. And then there can also be development of blood banks for rare blood group, because if they are having any such challenge where there is lack of blood, so they will not be able to survive. Okay. Now there is one question from all of you. Globally and in India, which is one last question for today, which is the most common blood group in world? Most common blood group in world. That is the question for you. Even those who are watching this session later in the recorded version also, mention the answer in the comment box. Okay. Give your answers, which is the most common blood group in the world. I will tell you tomorrow. I will tell you the answer of this tomorrow, but give me the answer, which is the most common blood group in the world. Most common blood group. One answer is AB positive. Anyone else? B positive. I am having the B positive blood group. A, O positive, B positive, AB positive. See, the most common is not AB positive, it is O positive. Most common blood group is O positive. Near about 37% people are having O positive. Then after, you are having A positive, A blood group. Okay. So generally you will find that O positive is the most common, then it is followed by O positive, sorry, A positive. So O positive is the most common, then after you will get A positive. Okay. So that will be the B positive is not the correct answer. O positive is the most common blood type. Near about 37% to 38% people of the world are having O positive. So O is not a rare blood group. O is the most common blood group across the world. Okay. O positive. O negative is rare. Now one more question, like if we just talk about the ABO system, if we just talk about the ABO system, in this system the rarest blood group. So I will leave you with this question, that which one is the rarest blood group among the ABO section. Okay. Among the ABO section, which is the rarest blood group in this ABO section. I am not talking about Bombay group or other groups. In the ABO system, which one is the most rarest blood group? So I leave you with that question. Tomorrow we will meet at the same time and then we will discuss other topics. Okay. So thank you everyone. Let's meet in tomorrow's session and then we will discuss the remaining things. Okay. Thank you everyone. Take care and good night. Yes, I have seen your message also that PDF has not been uploaded. Just after the class, I will inform the team about it so that they upload it. Thank you everyone. Take care.